Have you ever wondered why some people manage to build wealth, even starting from nothing, while others work hard their entire lives and still struggle financially? The answer isn't always income, it's not always education, and it's not always opportunity. Very often, it's habits, because there are behaviors wealthy people practice every single day that struggling people simply ignore. And this has nothing to do with arrogance or superiority. It has everything to do with mindset. The truth is, wealth begins long before money shows up. It starts in the way you think, the way you act, the choices you make, and how you behave when no one is watching. In this video, I'm going to break down 10 things wealthy people do that financially struggling people don't. And as we go through this list, you might realize you've been repeating patterns that are quietly holding you back. This isn't about judging anyone, it's about awareness. Because once you understand what may be blocking your progress, you can start acting differently. And when your actions change, your trajectory changes. Success leaves clues, and it's time you start following the right ones. The first thing wealthy people do, and most people were never taught, is this: they pay themselves first. It sounds simple, but this shift in priority changes everything. Most people get paid and immediately start paying bills. Credit cards, installments, ordering takeout, handling whatever feels urgent. Wealthy people operate differently. When money comes in, the first move is to set aside a portion to invest, to save, or to reinvest. They treat themselves as the priority. Everything else comes after, and it doesn't matter if it's 10%, 5%, or even 1%. What matters is the order. Struggling people wait to see what's left before saving. Wealthy people save before spending. And over time, that difference changes everything because it builds discipline, consistency, and most importantly, assets. Paying yourself first is what turns income into freedom. So if you're still putting your future last, you're playing on the wrong team. Start treating yourself like someone important. And that decision begins the moment the money hits your account, and you choose what happens next. The second thing wealthy people do is talk about money openly. While many people still treat finances like a taboo topic, something embarrassing, something uncomfortable to discuss, wealthy people do the opposite. They talk about investments. They exchange ideas about opportunities, they ask questions, they study, they debate. For them, money is a normal subject, not a mystery, not something shameful. But many struggling people avoid the topic entirely, even inside their own homes. They don't talk about how much they earn, how much they spend, or what their financial goals are. And here's the problem: what you avoid controls you. When you don't talk about money, you don't learn about money, you don't grow, and you repeat the same mistakes. The wealthy understand that money is a tool, and the more you understand how that tool works, the further you can go. If you want to start changing your life, stop running from the conversation. Talk about money with people who share your goals, because the more you talk about it, the more you learn. And the more you learn, the harder it becomes to be controlled by what once intimidated you. The third thing successful people do, and most people still overlook, is value time more than money. This is a massive mindset shift. While many people are willing to trade their time for almost any amount, those who build wealth understand something different. Time is the most valuable asset that exists. They constantly think about how to multiply the impact of their time through systems, by delegating tasks, or by building income streams that continue working, even when they're not. People just starting out often see any small savings as a win, driving 40 minutes to save $5. But here's the question: could that time have been used to learn a skill, to build something, or even to rest so you perform better later? Now let's be clear, there's nothing wrong with trading your time for money in the beginning. I started that way too, but you can't stay there forever. Use that phase to build capital, to learn, to invest in yourself, and gradually to create something that belongs to you. Because freedom begins when time starts working for you, instead of you always working for time. The fourth thing financially successful people do consistently is track where their money is going with precision. They don't operate on guesswork. They know exactly how much they earn, how much they spend, what they spend it on, and, most importantly, why. While many people only check their bank account when their card gets declined, those who truly want to grow treat money with clarity. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be a simple spreadsheet, a budgeting app, even a notebook. What matters is awareness, because money that isn't monitored simply disappears. And here's the deeper part. When you understand where your money goes, you also understand where it can be redirected. And that's where growth begins. People who prosper aren't afraid to face the numbers, even if it's uncomfortable at first. If you're still living in "I'll deal with it later" mode, remember this: later is always more expensive. The first step to making money work for you is knowing exactly what it's doing today. Now, here's the fifth thing successful people do differently. They turn money into assets, not liabilities. They don't buy things just to prove they have money. They buy things that help generate more money. That could mean investing in stocks, funds, a business, equipment that increases productivity, or knowledge that multiplies income later. While many people spend on new cars, the latest phone, or items that lose value the moment they leave the store, those with a growth mindset think differently. Of course, you can buy whatever you want, but the more you convert money into things that only consume, the harder it becomes to grow. When you start directing even a small portion of your income into assets, you change the game, because now money begins working for you instead of the other way around. The sixth thing wealthy people do is learn from those who are already where they want to be. It sounds obvious, but many people still take financial advice from others who are struggling just like they are. It's like trying to get fit by following advice from someone who's never been in shape. If you want to grow, listen to people who have results. This isn't about idolizing anyone. It's about studying strategies that work, modeling behaviors, understanding decisions. Successful people read books, watch interviews, take courses, and most importantly, they observe what the right people are actually doing. Not just what they say, they pay attention to actions, because learning from someone else's mistakes is cheaper than learning by crashing yourself. If you want financial growth, make education a habit, not an event. One book can save you years. One video can prevent a costly mistake. Knowledge is one of the few assets no one can take from you. And the more you learn, the more prepared you become to recognize opportunity when it appears. The seventh thing wealthy people do is take full responsibility for their lives. No victim mindset, no constant excuses, no blaming the government, the economy, their boss, or a difficult past, even if those challenges were real, and many of them were. But at some point, they made a decision. They stopped placing their future in someone else's hands, and that changes everything. Because when you believe your situation is caused only by external forces, you also believe you need external forces to fix it. But when you accept that you are the main character in your own story, you stop waiting and you start acting. That doesn't mean ignoring difficulties, it means deciding how you respond to them. People who prosper understand something powerful. They may not control everything, but they always control their decisions. How they use their time, how they use their money, where they place their attention. Taking responsibility isn't a burden, it's freedom. Because if the fault is yours, the power is yours too. And once you understand that, your direction begins to change. The eighth thing successful people do is build multiple income streams. Even when they're starting small, they don't put all their eggs in one basket. Even if they have a solid salary, they look for additional ways to earn. A side hustle, a service, an online project, investments, or even turning a hobby into income. Because they understand something simple. Depending on a single source of income is risky. If it stops, everything stops. And most people are living in that invisible risk. They work, they get paid, they spend, but those who build financial freedom start planting additional seeds. And it doesn't have to be huge at first. It could be $50 more a month, $100, $200. What matters is that it's yours. Something you control, something that can grow over time. Building extra income is one of the most accessible ways to escape financial pressure and create something solid. And the good news? Today, there are countless ways to do it. You just have to decide to start. Because when you build multiple income streams, you build multiple possibilities. The ninth thing wealthy people do is make decisions with the long term in mind, not just the present moment. And this may be one of the biggest mindset differences. While many people decide based on urgency, emotion, or instant gratification, those who think big always evaluate the future impact. They ask themselves, will this help me or hurt me 5 years from now? It could be a purchase, a project, a business partner, even a lifestyle choice. They understand that success doesn't come from one magical decision. It comes from dozens of small, consistent choices made over time. But people who live only for today often trade future freedom for present comfort. And before they realize it, 10 years have passed and nothing has changed. Thinking long-term requires patience, vision, self-control, but it also builds stability, security, and real freedom. If you start making decisions today with your future self in mind, you're already ahead of most people, because those who think further ahead ultimately go further. Now here's the 10th and final thing financially successful people do that makes a massive difference. They build something of their own, a business, a brand, a project, a channel, a product, something that doesn't depend on a boss, a fixed salary, or an external system. They understand something powerful. True freedom doesn't come only from saving well or investing wisely. It comes from creating a source of income they control, something that grows over time, something that can produce results even when they're not actively working. This doesn't mean that you need to quit everything tomorrow. It means you need to start thinking about it as early as possible. If today you're still trading time for money, that's okay. But use that phase as a foundation, because as long as you're only exchanging hours for payment, your income will always have a ceiling. The moment you begin building an asset, even a small one, that ceiling starts to disappear. And that's when the game changes. Don't live just to pay bills. Build something that pays for your freedom. Now that you've seen the 10 habits financially successful people practice, the real question is, which ones are you already applying? And which ones do you need to start today? Because watching and agreeing changes nothing. Information doesn't transform your life. Action does. You don't need to become a millionaire tomorrow. You just need to think differently, act differently, choose differently. Small daily shifts create massive results over time. And here's the most important part. It doesn't matter where you're starting. Low salary, side jobs, selling your time, still learning. What matters is what you decide to do with what you have right now. With consistency, you can build a path that takes you far beyond what you imagine today. So tell me in the comments, which of these habits hit you the hardest? If this video helped you in any way, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs this mindset shift. Because the difference between stagnating and growing starts with the very next choice you make. I'll see you in the next video.